People used to flock to midnight screenings. People used to cheer for post-credit scenes. But now, it seems like the superhero genre has fizzled out a little bit. Is it just me, or is the hype gone? Today we're looking at, is superhero fatigue a real thing? We're going to be diving into what's happened with superhero films, why are people feeling burnt out, and is there any hope for the genre? Superhero films have been around for decades, but the most modern era kind of started in the early 2000s. X-Men in 2000 showed the potential. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man really kicked it up a notch. And then in 2008, everything changed.
I am Iron Man.
That was the launch of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Over the next decade, it became the most successful movie franchise in cinema history. Avengers Endgame in 2019 made just under $2.8 billion globally. DC tried to catch up with the DCEU, who had Man of Steel, Wonder Woman, Aquaman. They all did great. Justice League, not so much. We weren't just watching movies, it felt like we were attending cultural events. But after those glorious few years, particularly leading up to Avengers Endgame, things started to feel a little bit strained. And now it almost feels like the party's winding down a little bit, which I hate to say because I love the genre, but it does feel that way. Let's look at some of the numbers. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania had a strong opening, but dropped over 70% in its second weekend. The Marvels became the lowest grossing MCU movie ever. DC's Shazam 2, The Flash, and Blue Beetle all underperformed really. And I'm not even going to talk about Sony's Spider-Man-less films such as Craven, Morbius, and Madam Web. So box office returns are shrinking, but it seems audience excitement even more so. Fans and critics are saying, too many films, too fast, we're burnt out. Too many multiverses, too much CGI, not enough heart. I saw someone post on Reddit and saying, I don't want to do homework for a film, and it kind of feels like that, especially with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. With the introduction of the Disney Plus shows, that seemed great initially, more content, fantastic. Kevin Feige said at the time that you won't need to watch the Disney Plus shows for the films to make sense. And at the time I thought, great, that makes sense to me. But then as time's gone on, that's just not the case. Take Doctor Strange 2, for example. If you hadn't have seen WandaVision, that film didn't make sense, because where you left Wanda in the last Avengers film to where she is now is a completely different person. She's completely darker and she seems just angry for no reason. You had to have watched WandaVision to see that arc. But here's the thing, this isn't new. Disaster films ruled the 70s. Think Towering Inferno, Earthquake, The Poseidon Adventure. Studios milked it, but then ultimately audiences moved on. In the 90s, it was alien invasion movies. Independence Day, Men in Black, Mars Attacks, they dominated, but then fizzled out. Then when you look at when they've tried to bring those franchises back, the most recent Independence Day film and the most recent Men in Black film, they didn't hit the mark. The moment had moved on. After Lord of the Rings, the fantasy genre exploded. Eragon, The Golden Compass, John Carter, they all tried to catch the wave, but didn't. We even had that kind of dystopian boom that came for a little while with Hunger Games, Maze Runner, Divergent, but again, they all shone bright for a period of time, but ultimately kind of fizzled out. So is the superhero genre dead? Not really, I don't think. Spider-Man No Way Home was a global phenomenon. The Batman in 2022 showed that there's still room for fresh takes. Joker in 2019 was gritty, grounded, but also made over $1 billion, and it won Oscars. So no, the superhero genre isn't dead, but I think it's that formulaic kind of superhero film that might be. Audiences crave character-driven stories, not franchise checklists. They want emotion, not exposition. They want good films and not content. That's why things like Invincible, The Boys, and Across the Spider-Verse, they're thriving. They're genre-bending, creative, and often like a critical look at superheroes. So where do we go from here? Well, the good news is the studios are already reacting. The studios, they're not stupid, they've picked up on this, but the problem is how long films take in production, that they might have realised this a year ago, but because of pre-production, filming, post-production, and then obviously putting the films out, that might be a 2 year, so we might not see the effect of their changes for at least a couple of years. Marvel is slowing down releases. Disney's Bob Iger said they're focusing on quality over quantity. As we know, DC's rebooting with James Gunn and Peter Safran. But as a huge Superman film, Superman coming out in July, it does make me nervous for it. It feels like this is a really fresh take on Superman that we've not seen before. But is it coming at the right time? Or is it going to get hit by that superhero fatigue? Because I know it will probably be different to some of the Marvel films, but when, Joe Public, who goes to see the movies, who isn't as connected, doesn't know James Gunn, doesn't know the ins and outs of the superhero genre, are they going to want to go and see it? It does make me worry a little bit. Ultimately, audiences decide which films live and die. If they show up for smart, emotional superhero stories, then we'll get more. If they stop caring, the genre could go the same way as the Western. Do you remember when the Western was the king of Hollywood for like 50 years? Now it's a niche, and that's kind of where the superhero film could be. It may be that it never truly dies, but we just see a lot less superhero films, and that might be an okay thing. So is superhero fatigue real? Yes and no. I think we're tired of the assembly line, not the actual superheroes themselves. Give us great stories, fresh takes, new ideas, and we'll show up every time. The genre's not dead, it's just evolving. Thanks for watching, please consider subscribing, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think that superhero fatigue is a real thing? I'll see you in the next one.